let's talk about video teaching at Alpine Church. We've encouraged Alpiners to watch the vision videos at our leaders website, which is go.alpinechurch.org. When you go there, you'll see 7 videos that explain why we do what we do at Alpine Church. Now, we encourage you to watch all those videos. It's really good to get all of the Alpiners on the same page so that we're all moving together, moving forward together. But before you watch that, you might want to watch this video to learn some of the preliminary questions about video teaching at Alpine Church. First of all, some people have wondered, what exactly do we mean by video teaching? Video teaching is simply the teaching team giving the sermon via video at a weekend service. So what we've been doing in June is we've been recording the sermon in front of a live audience on Friday nights, and we record it just like normal, and then we prepare it so that on Sunday morning we can show the same sermon just like normal, but instead of a teacher getting up there to the pulpit to preach, we put the video on instead. Now, I want to emphasize it's the teaching team doing it. We're not talking about one person giving the sermon every week. It's still the teaching team because we value teams. And it's also just the sermon. We're not talking about doing everything via video. We're not talking about worship and ushering and it's not a video service. It's just this one element of the service. It will be delivered via video, and we've begun using that, and it looks very similar to what you would normally see. It's just on video instead of live. Now, some people have asked when and where we're going to use it. We're trying to set up this summer, we're trying to set up all of our campuses to be able to use video teaching, but we want to make sure everyone understands we're just talking about using it some of the time. We're not talking about using video teaching all of the time. There will still be live teaching at all of our campuses, but we're beginning to experiment and utilize video teaching some of the time at all of our campuses, and we've already experienced a lot of positive stuff with this. Now, I want to make sure everyone understands we're not going to use video teaching at the expense of our overall mission. Our overall mission is to help people pursue God. And if, in fact, we find that video teaching keeps us from accomplishing this mission, then obviously we're not going to use video teaching anymore. But we think it will work increasingly over time. Here's why we think video teaching will work at our campuses. We believe it can work because the teaching element is just one part of the whole. If you think of Sunday morning, the weekend experience, if you think of it as a circle like this, the teaching element is a very important part of what we do on Sunday morning, but it's just one element. We recognize that what makes Alpine great is not just good teaching, but it's a variety of elements. It's the team approach that we take to doing church. So it's the shepherding team, it's the campus pastor and the service leaders and the small group leaders and just the people at Alpine that are loving and kind and warm and authentic. And that's a huge part of Sunday morning. And it's the kids' church. That's a huge part of the Sunday morning experience. And the live worship team, the great bands that we have, and the energetic worship that points people to Jesus. And it's our youth team and our youth team leaders, and it's our ushers and our greeters and our coffee and all these other teams that make Alpine great. Now, we recognize that what makes Alpine a great church and what has made us successful is that we have a team approach and that we do all of this stuff together as a team. And here's what we recognize. We know that we can't do the shepherding stuff via video. We need that to be live. And the kids' church stuff has to be live. It's important that that's live, obviously. And the worship team, we think that needs to be live. And the youth leaders and the love that they give to our kids, that needs to be live and in person, and the ushers and the greeters and the coffee and all the other things, all of that stuff obviously has to be live, and it is live, and it will always be live because the church is made up of people. But we recognize, and this has been true and proven in many other parts of the country, that of all of those elements, the one element that we can probably pull off via video some of the time at least is the teaching element, because you can teach via video and it can still be excellent and really good and engaging without it being live, as long as all of the rest of the team is doing its part. We believe that the teaching element can be pulled off via video some of the time, and that's why we think it will work. We think that our teaching can actually be just as excellent via video. In fact, the teaching team believes that we can do better via video. We can put more energy, more focus. We can accomplish the teaching aspect of Sunday morning. Over time, we can do that better if we can do it via video at least some of the time. So we think that this can work. And just the last thing I want to mention is how we think it's going to empower people like the early church did. You've probably heard Ephesians 4. We believe that this is what leads our philosophy of ministry. Christ gave the apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers to equip his people for works of service so that the body of Christ may be built up. So we recognize that the teachers, if you think of the teachers as this red circle, the teachers are equipping the campuses. And we want to continue to equip the campuses with good, solid biblical teaching that points people to Jesus. And we think that we can do this even better if we utilize video at least some of the time. We think that we can empower the campuses. The teaching team can empower the campuses even better. And then in turn, the campuses can empower individuals and small groups and families and the teams at their campuses, that the campuses can then in turn equip people so that we're doing this, we're empowering people. The ministry, the leaders of the church are empowering people in innovative ways, and that the people that the campuses are empowering the individuals and the teams at their campuses. So the whole picture looks more like the New Testament, that we're all doing our part, so that, as it says in Ephesians 4, so that we all can reach unity in the faith and in the knowledge of the Son of God, and we can become mature and attain to the whole measure of the fullness of Christ. We believe at Alpine that we can do this more and more if we utilize innovative methods like video teaching. And so that's why we're looking at using that in our campuses. So I encourage you now to go back and to watch those vision videos at our leaders' website, go.alpinechurch.org, so that you can more fully understand why we do what we do at Alpine Church.